Hello, everybody. I hope all of you guys had an amazing weekend because we did. And welcome back to another episode of Chai Time. I'm Alina, and today I'm here with Adnan, who is the CEO of our company OpusAI. Adnan, welcome to Chai Time.
Happy to be here.
How was your week?
Slightly crazy, but overall good. Nothing um, like it got exciting, but nothing in the bad sense. So happy with that.
Okay. And we also have a really special guest who is joining us for today's episode. Everybody, please welcome Abu Bakr Dilaver. Abu Bakr, how are you doing today?
I'm perfectly fine today.
Okay. And for those of you who don't know, Abu Bakr is a community builder. He is also a marketing expert and he also has a keen interest in AI and he designs his marketing strategies using AI. So he also has his own initiative with the name of Founders Kahani. So that is where he discusses really interesting topics. And speaking of interesting topics, we have another interesting topic for you guys this week, which is, will AI change the way we experience fashion in the next decade? So, my first question would be to you, Adnan. What do you think about the topic? Do you think that AI is going to influence our shopping habits in the future?
Um, Shopping habits, it already is, right? If how did we originally shopped? Let's think about that. I remember my mom, when she thought of shopping, she would go to the market on foot without doing any planning, without knowing what she's going to buy, without having any idea. Her idea of fashion came from what other women are wearing, let's say in the paper newspaper. Like newspaper used to be on paper. I mean, there's still some of them are, but most of them no longer are. But you see in the Friday magazine or the Sunday magazine, you see something in on the front page. You see the your favorite celebrity wearing something. I mean, that used to be the normal uh, thing to, or what would be called fashion those days. Now, fast forward, I would say 30 years or so, and that's not what fashion is, right? Most of the time, your fashion ideas come from where? From some person you follow on some social network. Uh, in in most cases, who's doing a paid, um, show or plug for some outfit. So things have changed already quite a bit, right? And in the business sense of thing, they haven't changed that much, frankly, because at the end, somebody has to design some clothes, somebody has to make them. So all that is still kind of the same, right? And we think that often that our outfits or our clothes are very different, but they're really not, right? I mean, if you see the cycle, you're gonna go like 20 year back and you're gonna see the same trend kind of happening, and it just keeps on recycling itself. Yes, in some cases, clothes get longer, other cases they can become shorter, but overall, nothing crazy has happened. Now, will it happen? That is the question, right? And that's something that we can talk more about. But so far, I think, has AI changed something drastically? I think one thing that it has changed is that it has made it slightly, in a creepy sense, harder for us to avoid our um, um fantasy or our choices, right? You look at something and you click it, and it's not gonna let you go. Then it's gonna chase you through the eternity until you buy it. So
Yeah.
that is something that is definitely much truer than it used to be in those days, right? You talk about something, and your favorite uh, or not so favorite social network is listening in on the mic, and suddenly you see all the ads pop up all over the place, and
Yes.
you're like, what is happening? And it's gonna you know not let you go until you go and click on it. So that, I think, um, will we credit this to AI? AI does have some part in it, but it also has more to do with, um, um I guess, how, um, almost like a, how there's, something is always listening, not somebody, but something is always listening. So I think that's something that I would attribute it to.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, and everybody who is listening right now, they can just write in the chat box, and you guys tell us, is something crazy actually going to happen or not? And for my next question, I wanted to ask, which is, do you think any sort of new technologies could emerge in fashion thanks to AI?
Now this is a, question that is very relevant to what we're working on. And of course, things have quite a lot of things. Okay, let me go back to the history. Like, so when I was growing up, one of the things that we were, uh, um, that fashion is gonna rapidly change, and everybody's gonna be wearing electronic clothes, right? And that hasn't happened. Of course, people still like cotton, and some new synthetic, more comfortable than nylon, have threads have appeared. But in most cases, we're kind of like wearing the same clothes, the same material that. Uh, so I don't see, like, a lot of people. I do see some people. If I go to the, those, really crazy circle in Silicon Valley or somewhere, then you do see people wearing hats with LEDs, and some, even some dresses that have some kind of, but really not that much, right? And of course, the reason is that it's hard to maintain. Clothes is something that you're not buying just for one time. You're buying it because you're gonna wash it, and and electronics and washing usually doesn't go too well, right? So it's still a pipe dream, that we're gonna have clothes that maybe gonna change color, or they're gonna have, like, blinking LEDs around them, or I don't know what else. Maybe some sensors that's gonna do something, but nothing much has changed in there. What has, I think, um, become easier relatively is to come up with trendy fashion, and um, also rapidly spread it, right? And of course, like, if you, um, a female and you're relatively young, you definitely know about Shein, which is
Yeah.
um, a popular destination for this rapid fashion. It is said that they can uh, not only create an entire clothing line in a day, but they can ship it within a day, uh, to pretty much throughout the world. So in 2 or 3 days, you'll certainly see all these, like, completely new fashion emerge, and then dissipate in within a week. And
Yeah.
that has created quite a bit of sensation. And some people thought that this is going to be the future. And um, the thing hasn't quite caught on fire. Like, it hasn't, like, rapidly spread. And the reason for that is the clothes, while they can do all that, the clothes they make is quite, they're not very um,
High
reliable
quality.
or durable.
Yeah. High
And
quality. Yeah.
yeah, I never bought them from there, just to be clear. But um the feedback that I got in most of the cases, that they feel like plastic. And while they are great if you want to take images, like, you want to take pictures, and you want to post, but they're not something that you would actually wear on a day basis. So that's something that is fascinating still. It hasn't happened yet, but I think, um, one thing that we quite a lot think about, and because we're in entertainment, not in fashion specifically, but entertainment is, the good thing about being in entertainment is that you're almost overlapping on everybody's, or like stepping on everybody's toes all the time, right? Including fashion,
Yeah.
definitely, because fashion is a big part of entertainment.
Yes.
um, and that's something that I think may happen. maybe not that soon, but in the future we may see that hyper, what I call hyper customized, hyper personalized fashion to your individual taste on um, almost like instantly something that you can get on close to the same price that you would get from from a boutique, but within a day or two, right? So I think that's something that I see in the pipeline. Who's going to make it happen? We don't know yet, right? It's definitely, we know that it's not seen because they are in a different market apparently,
Yes.
but somebody's gonna capture this opportunity, and when that happens, it's gonna be quite interesting, and we'll see who that is.
Yeah, and I think so. With one thing with fast fashion is that it's made, as you were saying, in one day and everything. It's also like goes out of trend quickly as well, and then it's not easy to get rid of as well. So that's something that you're piling up clothes and you're making up clothes, but nobody's wearing them. So that is one thing I don't understand why that's happening in fast fashion.
I think the point is there is that you are paying very little money for something, and you find it okay that if you throw it away, the and again, this is not something that has flushed itself out yet, right? So throwing away
Yes.
clothes is not a new thing, but at the same time, um, yeah, so unless if you're an Instagram model, I think it's hard to justify just buying clothes and throwing it away, or if somebody is giving it away for free. So we're not at that level where um, it's not like food that you buy it, and if you don't like
Yeah.
it, you throw it away and then you move on. It's still in a different and I think that is something that a lot of companies would like to happen. Will it happen? I don't think it will happen. Not easily. People still
Yeah.
like, once you wear something and you actually enjoy it, you want to wear it again, right? So
Yes.
that's a thing that you feel. And unlike food, um, you want it to kind of linger longer, and often
Yes.
you want to wear it in the future sometime, right? You don't want
Yes.
to just wear and forget. So yeah.
Yeah, true. And as we talked about personalization, how do you think AI could personalize fashion for individuals? Because we see everybody has their own personalized feeds in on like Instagram or Twitter, everywhere on socials. And what do you think? How do you think they're gonna pitch fashion and make fashion a part of it?
That's my favorite topic to think about and talk about. And it actually started from um, when me and Asra, like my wife, we started having some discussion back a few years ago, right? I'm not a big fashion buff, didn't used to be, but I am big on solving problems, right? And if there's a problem and somebody mentions it, so my mind, kind of starts a thread that, okay, this has to be solved. So it's always going to be working and figuring out, okay, what are the ingredients missing and what do we need to add to make it work. So I think there are a few things in fashion that are unaddressed, and they're still unaddressed even in this age. One of that thing is, um, you see, so here's how fashion works, right? Of course, like you have these super thin, super slim models, and these days you also have super fat and super not very attractive models. But at the same time, majority of the people don't fall in either of these categories, right? Majority of the people um, don't spend their every single day counting calories, like in every single calorie, so they don't put on um, uh, um, an inch. So they're more less, even if they want to, they're a lot more relaxed about it. And what happens is that fashion designers create in their idealistic um, ivy throne rooms, these fashion designs, and when they come into the real world, they don't quite look as good. They don't definitely are not very comfortable, and
Yeah.
that's something that I myself struggle with, not in terms of clothes but in terms of shoes. So um, that's something that I always feel that, okay, shoes that typically look very good are extremely uncomfortable, and in many cases, actually in all cases, extremely unpractical. And um, Why this happens is a matter of debate, but what it comes down to it is that um, we have to think of, or more like put the end user at the middle of all this, right? And by end user, I don't mean either politically aligned models or ivy thrown, like um, fantasized models, but rather um, what fits a person, what would look good on a specific body. And we have seen some effort into that, right? Where these mirrors, like smart mirrors, where you go and it would show what that specific dress, clothes item will look on you. I think the next step on that is that not only that it shows a specific item, but it designs it according to your body, your style, but not only that, actually how you walk, how you talk, what are your, I would say, signature moves, because not everything works for everything, and it takes a long time before you find a fashion item that actually really aligns um, with your style. So I think the next step is probably something similar to that, where um, we almost create a digital replica of a person, um, and that digital replica is infinitely, like tested in virtual environments with different fashion items, and assigned um, how good or how not so good it works for them, right? And then you have recommendation that actually work for that person, that are hyper customized to them, right? So not something that you go and you have to ask 20 of your friends and hoping that they're giving you honest feedback, but rather you already know that okay, it's gonna look good or it's not gonna look good.
Yes, I agree. And also, like, I recently went to a thesis which was about of fashion students, and they also created a sort of like a thesis and display, and it actually had a person walking into a virtual sort of environment, and there were clothes and everything else. And what it showed was how you would have an experience walking into a shop, but it was like a virtual shop. So that was something I found very fascinating. I was like, wow, that they are using this technology and blending it with fashion, and it created this sort of very exciting thing to buy clothes, but at the same time being at home. So that was something I found really interesting. And as we were talking about fashion and fast fashion, and especially like sustainable choices, how do you think AI could make our fashion choices very sustainable, in the sense that we wouldn't be, just buying clothes, but we would know actually that this is going to be a good choice?
We touched upon this, like just now, but I think the end goal here is that if you buy something, you're almost certain that it's going to look good and you're going to wear it a few times. But also I think my personal, because I'm a technical guy, right? I'm not that much a fashion guy. I think durability, right? So
Yes.
creating new for myself, let me my favorite thing is to find clothes that are practical, that fit well, but at the same time they are um, extremely comfortable and very
True.
durable, and I don't have to
Yeah.
iron them. Definitely don't like to iron anything
True.
ever. So now this is a very tough combination to find, right? Even today it's very hard to find clothes that are have check all of these boxes, right? You rarely find all these things in one, and I think that's a tough nut to crack for most, especially if you're in fashion industry. That's not something that is um, top of your list. Most of the time you want to make something that people will just buy on impulse, which um, which works, right? But
Yeah.
it's not sustainable model, let's say, right? So if you can create something that checks all of the boxes, and I would say that which revolves around, and at least three of these items revolve around figuring out new materials. um, that is something that I think um, that can really change the fashion industry for the better, right? Not just that okay, I got this, like high heel and it looks so good, but it's extremely uncomfortable to walk in, so I'm only gonna wear it if I really 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 need to impress somebody, right? Rather that okay, it looks good, and it's so comfortable walking. I'm going to wear it all the time, right? And I think
Yeah.
that's where I want to see the industry heading, right?
Yes.
And I think that's where technology and AI can really help figure out these some of these complicated um, piece of the puzzle that is never on the top of the um, list of a fashion designer, but technology can take care of it.
Yeah. And I actually think that if somebody makes something that checks all the boxes, count me in. I'm going to be your first customer because that is going to be something that I'm going to wear all the time.
Yeah, and
Honestly.
Asra actually invested in one of the companies that was like making these fashion heels that were supposed to be so comfortable to walk in, and of course it was not really it never actually happened, right? But that is something that I agree that a lot of women and men would pay a lot of money for just because they want to make it real. So and that's something that is almost like a low hanging fruit for a technology company that wants to break into fashion.
Yeah. And what role do you think AI can play in fashion design creativity? Because recently, when I went to a thesis, I understood that a lot of people are using AI and AR, VR, or other sort of technologies, and they're blending that with fashion. And that was something that a lot of people were more excited to go to, other than the really traditional sort of displays or stuff like that. Because young people, they actually want to know, okay, what is that, other than the same sort of the paintings or displays that they see. So, what do you think that AI would help us become more creative in that sense?
um, so AR VR, and a lot of companies are throwing a lot of money at it for a very very long time, and we still know that it doesn't work for um, people people other than who are getting paid by those companies, right? And I really wish I could say that this is the future. Unfortunately, it is not, and there are multiple magnitude of reason around it. First of all, hardware is bulky. It is that any high quality interface to AR or VR always tethers you to a machine of some kind, right? The one that don't have a very clunky and poorly designed kind of this cartoonish thing, right? So it doesn't work. We're not there yet, and I don't think we're going to be there yet for another 10 to 15 years. And when that does happen, then we can have that discussion again and see if industry there's a role of that in the fashion industry. For now, I think the major innovation and the major breakthrough can come from um, bringing in the design phase, bringing in the technology a lot more than it currently is. Currently it's still like most top fashion designers still do pen and paper. Even the ones who use digital tools, they use it on a kind of emulating the pen and paper interface. And some of the young ones that are trying to use it in their head, AI is going to do the design for them, which is all of that is, I think, misfounded. What is more, I think, likely to happen to lead us to that breakthrough is being able to simulate a lot of these things. I briefly touch upon what I'm thinking, right? Rather than focus, making the design based on idealized body. Let's imagine that if you can have, I don't know, 1,000 different body types of different ethnicity, different age group, different people, and any fashion item you're going designing instantly gets tested on, based on those body types. What it will look like, how will they, how comfortable it will be, how durable it will be, how practical it will be, and so on and on. All these things, right? So most of the question that you that get answered when an item goes to market, you can answer them while you're designing it, and you can adjust accordingly. So v1 of a particular clothing item is as good as the v10 of a clothing item is today, right? And um, uh, incidentally, right, it can help you come up with the most optimized manufacturing process, right? How to um, how to reduce your cost significantly, right? Rather than do the trial and hit phase. And it's already being, I think, part of it is already being applied in manufacturing industry. I think that's something that can really help the fashion industry. Um, and if you can reduce the cost, and if you can increase the durability, and make it much more highly likely that a much larger um, I would say consumer group is likely to get um, would buy it, or would likely to buy it. I think that's a win-win for everyone, including
Yeah.
the designer, but also the distributor, and of course the consumer themselves.
Yeah, and I think so in the future, Opus can really help people be more creative with our tool as well, because we can actually provide you those services that you can make your creativity, brainstorm, and then see your vision with the text to graphic sort of thing. And that is something that I actually believe that in the future, I think so that's going to be something very optimistic about it. I believe that. And thank you so much, Adnan, for your insights. I'll be moving forward to our creator segment. Abu Bakr, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good. Excited to be here.
That's great. And how was your week so far?
Yeah, I would say productive and hectic.
Okay, that's fine, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so my first question to you about this topic would be, how do you think AI is going to change the fashion retail experience in your opinion?
So there are many ways like how AI is influencing the fashion retail business. So one of the ways that like Adnan told, like our social media is continuously listening to us and they give us the dopamine like buy this, buy this, buy this. And I think it's also giving us more of a pleasant experience of shopping online, right? Because if there are some websites whenever I go to those kind of a website, so there are specific like kind of a items that I'm going to purchase. If we talk about like in terms of the pricing, in terms of the designs, in terms of the pattern. So AI literally helps me a lot whenever I go back to that website. So they give me that personalized experience, like where they can detect my previous experience, and then according to that they give me all kind of new items that are available in according to my taste as well. And also like they can give me more of options like where I can sort or the items that my desired items, pricing in terms of like design, in terms of patterns that can give me more personalized way. And other than that is there is one of the really cool feature that I'm recently exploring with some of the international brands in fashion retail, because when we were doing online shopping, the biggest fear of us is how that specific item will look on us. So the one of the very cool applications for AI, especially in retail, is that you can try on them virtually on your avatar. So that can give you like more of authentic way of shopping online and more pleasant experience of shopping online. And else than that, there are also the virtual chatbots where you can get 24/7 customer support without any of the delays and any kind of a human interaction, right? And for the retail businesses itself, the AI is giving them a lot of applications, such as like they're giving the data analysis, because there are some topics, some items that are hot trending, there are some items that are hot selling, there are some items that need more marketing. So that previously you have to do it all manually, like you have to see, you have to use your brain, like you have to spend like days and hours to analyze which are the hot selling top products, and on which products that we have to spend more marketing. Now AI can give them more of the correct data, that which are the hot topics, so that you can never miss an opportunity to sell any good product, or you can never miss an opportunity to basically spend more marketing on any kind of items as well. So I think these are some of the really cool applications, especially in the fashion retail, that are helping the customers making their experience of online shopping more pleasant, and also for the retail businesses to have having a more profitable and having a more kind of a good stuff to sell.
Yeah, and how do you think AI is going to help people, you know, especially when fashion trends are predicted? How do you think AI is going to change that? Because we see there's a lot of like social media posts, influencers, stuff like that. How do you think that's gonna change?
Yeah, so Alina, that's a very interesting question. Fashion trends are the topic I think that existed from the early civilization of Homo sapiens. We can get the idea of that, like how fashion was important in the history as well by seeing Cleopatra invented the eyeliner, right? So, like, if I'm gonna ask you the question, before the 19th century, who were the trendsetters of the society?
I would say the kings, queens, monarchs, I believe.
Exactly, exactly. And if we say like in after the 1950s, who were the trendsetters?
Celebrities, I believe.
Yeah, the celebrities, the Hollywood celebrities, and and the local celebrities as well. So where you can see basically in the monarch and in the celebrities kind of a stuff, you can see like people have access to specific certain kind of a people. So you can see like different trends is specific to different regions, right? But if we see nowadays, like who are the trendsetters nowadays?
Influencers, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, influenza world has become the global village, right? So you can see like some all kind of trends, all kind of fashion items everywhere in the world. Like there are some of the products who are trending in US, right? And they are also trending in Pakistan, because that now we are more of like fo- focusing on the cloud platforms that are the social media. We are focusing on the influencers, but right now the problem here is it becomes more saturated because there are a lot of influencers, there are a lot of like stuff, there are a lot of type of clothing and a lot of type of uh, items, so that it can also give more of like a broader way to do more of the designing and more of the creating your own product. So that I think AI in this can play a very crucial role, because they can give you like the data by analyzing like what is the people's behavior, right? And they can set up, they can like analyze the data, like which of the fabrics are more interested in any specific kind of region, what are the patterns that are trending any kind of a
Yeah,
region, or what
and
are
I
the
also
basically
think
products.
that recently, like on socials, we also see that with the feed and with the things that we like, it's also very personalized. So I think so. The fashion
Yeah,
trends are also depends on the things that likes and follows and how people are, following it, how many people are liking it. So that's something that I actually believe is happening
yeah, exactly.
nowadays as well. And what sort of innovations do you think in wearable technology could AI bring?
Yeah, it's also another very interesting topic. As Adnan was saying, like we tech people want thinking like people wearing electronic clothes all over the world. So, but now you can only see it in Silicon Valley, that people having LEDs and all kind of innovative electronic clothing, right? So, but still, there are a lot of innovations that AI brought in the daily life of the people. So I was actually working with some of the brands internationally, because I work as a marketer as well. So there was one of the influencers who told me about a really good product about, right, that he's using on his daily life. It's basically a bracelet that he can wear, and it can give them a more of the sugar level, blood pressure level, sleep cycle, water consumption, every kind of a thing that his body needs on his phone. The band is collecting the data and give him like what he needs to do better of his health, right? So this is a very interesting application of AI, especially in variables, where they can give them more of personalized data, like giving them more of like health conscious decisions as well. And also like we were talking about the sustainable fashion, right? So right now what we have to do is like with any kind of specific region and any kind of like specific season, you have to wear different kind of clothes, right? So there are some of the temperature controlled clothes as well, that can help you to be more sustainable in your fashion choices, right? And also there I was in a virtual pitch recently, and there was one of the guy who was pitching a very cool startup idea. He was inventing some of the clothing devices that can you can wear on your clothes, and they convert your body heat energy into the electrical energy, and that electrical energy can charge your small devices like your phone, your earpods, your power bank. So that was a very, I think, interesting application of AI in the wearable technologies.
Okay, that was quite interesting, and thank you so much, Abubakar, for your insights. And before we wrap up, Anand, do you have any key takeaways that you would like to share?
Fashion, like I mean, it's an interesting topic. Definitely um, something that we all enjoy, even if by watching other people wear them, or ourselves. I think it's due for an overall. I don't know what is going to happen. Hope that it's gonna be something good, and definitely keeping a close eye, and let's see where the AI or technology leads us.
Yeah, I hope so. It's something good, not too crazy, so that we are actually wearing something good, not something that is actually making us look like a clown or something, because that would be actually funny. Yeah. And for everybody who has tuned in, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Adnan. Thank you so much, Abu Bakr, for joining and giving us your insights. And everybody else, we would encourage you guys to check out our Opus website. And other than that, everybody else who wants to be a part of Opus, you can check out the Opus Careers page. And for everybody else, have a great weekend. We are going to be back the next week, and we're going to bring you guys another very interesting topic. Thank you so much, everybody. Bye bye.
Bye. Have a great weekend.